ALTBAYS.
ALTBAYS. Is that how it goes? Can we do it together? 1, 2, 3. Vocals warm up?
Yeah,
Is that what we're doing?
right.
Okay, we're live. ALTBAYS Show brought to you by ALTBAYS.nz. If you're watching us right now, you're on YouTube. And if you are on YouTube, you should subscribe to our channel to make sure that the platform keeps growing and bringing amazing people to have conversations here in the beautiful Whitianga in Coromandel. I'm going to take my glasses off because it's Halloween, so I have to look a bit weirder than I already am. You can also join our platform. I can't wait. Now that I took off the glasses, Taylor, I can see you. Adjusting. Happy? Yes. Thank you. If you're watching us right now, you can also become a member. You can join the platform and put some dollars there to make sure that we still keep doing this, because we don't know how sustainable it's going to be for how long. So, you know, it helps. We're also on all the social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. If your attention span is like mine, you should follow us on TikTok. Short clips. We cater for everybody. We have the long format. The shorter one, ALTBAYS clips, is our second YouTube channel. And then the social media where we have all the little clips. That's what Alex said, that the young people love the short clips. Right, Alex?
Yep.
Thank you. On my left tonight, our beautiful flower,
Glad
Jess.
to be back.
So good to see you.
Just a ray of sunshine in the corner.
So good. So for the people who are listening to our show and cannot see us, what's happening tonight? Is it?
So it's Halloween, and I said, why don't we have costumes? And then Leo just had some hiding in the closet over there. So Leo's, I'm not really sure. What are you? A surfer man? Surfer dude?
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
On some heavy drugs by the looks, like the hair is not that healthy,
Did
like
you go to the
it's
hairdressers
not
maybe?
great, not really, It's just trusting that saltiness.
We've got a daffodil. Just daffodil?
You're looking great, I must say. It
Yeah.
suits you.
Thank you.
Springtime.
Thank you.
Do you do some gardening?
I do.
Do you?
I do. Yeah, I love
What's
gardening.
on? What's in the garden at the moment?
Got
Here we
some
go.
beefsteak tomatoes growing at the moment.
Nice.
Got some garlic. Got
Nice.
some strawberries. Got some capsicum.
Do they thrive, your strawberries, or you
They
struggle
do.
with?
Yeah. I
What's the
make sure.
secret?
Oh, bit of fertilizer. Bit of
Yeah, but I
fish.
mean, like, you don't have nasty ants or anything coming
No,
and ruining
not
it?
yet. I'm sure they'll get there.
Just me then.
Birds trying to get strawberries.
True. Good time. And there's something with basil, I think, that you can put them close to tomatoes.
Oh,
And
really?
it helps. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Partner
Maybe they're quite similar. The leaves smell quite
leaves.
similar, I think.
Yeah.
So.
And I've tried them. They're not the tastiest, but tomato leaves are edible.
Are they?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah. It's always good to have a look at what you can and cannot eat, right? You never know when you're going to be lost in the middle of the woods or in the middle of the
I might
bush.
find a tomato.
You might find a tomato. You might as well eat the tomato, right? You find a tomato, not the leaves. Great. I just want to say something, Jess, before we carry on. Our friends from the Monkey Theatre, they're going to have an amazing show on the 5th. It's the Harmonic Resonators, and it's a cool show. It's $25 the tickets, and it's a fundraiser for the Te Puna Reo and Whitianga from our dear friend Maddie Johnson. So if you're looking for some entertainment on Saturday night, actually not night, it's from 4 to 6. So obviously family friendly, which is pretty
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
Now is the time, more gigs, more cool stuff happening in
warmer.
town, getting warmer.
Absolutely.
Happy days. Today was the elections in Brazil, and we kicked the devil away.
Good results.
Motherfucker, man, he was there for 4 years.
4 years too long.
Nasty, nasty. The one who is now is not the best, but definitely better than the devil. So congratulations, Brazil. You did okay. It was tight, eh? It was like, it was no joke. I think it was like 50.0 6 whatever, and then like 49 points,
Oh, wow.
whatever is less 6, maybe 4. Like, so it was just like very tight.
Very close.
For a country that has 215 million people, the difference was like 2 million votes.
You got to wonder out of that amount of people, how many people actually voted?
Because
Because I know, like in Australia, if you don't vote, you get a fine. It's like $50 or something. But
yeah, in Brazil it is compulsory.
really,
Yeah. So, but like it's not the end of the world. If you don't vote, you have to justify.
right?
And then if you miss the cutoff of the time that you have to justify, they will give you a fine.
Yeah.
And if you still don't do nothing about it, then it compromises your name. So like you
Really?
cannot open a bank account, you cannot leave the country.
Like a credit score, but for
Yeah, so Taylor is just putting the numbers
Oh,
there for
wow.
us. So the guy who won had 60,345 thousand votes.
this is
and
the old guy, right?
motherfucker Bolsonaro 49. What, like super close,
It's
eh?
very close.
So that's what we're hoping, you know, like, and sorry for the people who are listening. Bolsonaro had 58,206. So it's sad. It's
Wow.
a division in the country, which is very upsetting, you know, like, so what I try to say here and remind people is that politicians is not sports. You should not be celebrating. You should not be, you know, cheering. You should just go and ask for those employees of our nation to do a good job. You know, like, don't fight because of political issues. You know, they're all working for us. So there you go. Let's bring the young people who are smarter than us, Jess, to the conversation because they know what's going on in the world, right? We have tonight the pleasure to talk to Alex Litherland.
Hello?
Hello.
Am I supposed to wave? Which camera do I wave at?
Well, this one is yours, so if you
This
want to
one?
wave, you can wave.
Hello,
Yeah.
I'm Alex.
Is this one Alex? Yeah. And Petra Campbell.
Hello.
Hello. Halloween vibes.
Hmm.
Do you like the costume?
Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely loving the minions. They are I'm a very, very big fan of them.
Essential part of your
Mhm.
life.
Yeah, exactly. That
Yeah.
one time when they evolved and did evil stuff with in that one movie.
Classic movie.
Yeah.
Classic film. Classic,
Good,
classic
good,
film.
good.
Very
I haven't watched it.
Oh,
This is-
Sorry.
uncultured.
I know, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about the movie? So what is the movie all about? Petra?
Don't put us on the spot like that.
just tell us the whole.
Yeah,
plot.
I will explain.
The yellow guys,
Yeah, you have to know the law first about the
They-
yellow.
they,
Okay.
I feel like they have one eye, don't they? Or do they have two eyes?
either or.
Depends.
Or is it different kinds?
Yeah, yes. They were
Just like
yellow.
humans. Depends.
They like bananas, and they need an evil leader.
Yeah,
That's about all you have to know about them.
that's the
man.
whole movie.
That's the whole movie, really. Yeah.
It sounds like
Wow.
Brazil for the last 4 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. Thank you
Everyone
very much.
is yellow and has 1 or 2 eyes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You know, sometimes you're lucky. Okay, get 2 eyes. Sometimes you're not. Get
Yeah.
one, but it's still fine.
Happens.
How's school?
Ooh. Right into it, are we?
No, well, the reason why I'm asking is I was telling a student the other day, I was like, it's funny how most kids give shit to school the whole time that they're at school. And then as soon that they realize that it's time to leave and to finish, it's that feeling of like, oh man, I think I'm actually going to miss this place.
Yeah.
This is actually cool. Is that
That's how
the
I'm feeling
feeling,
at the moment,
Alex?
yeah. There's like 3 weeks left, depending on how long it takes me to finish my stuff. But like 2 days of actually being at school with everyone, like 2 proper days of school,
Wow.
I think, something like that. And it's just gonna be gone soon. I'm just try not to get emotional about it.
Wow.
It's fine. Yeah, but it does get emotional. I understand. How are you feeling about it, Petra?
Pretty good.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. No, because at the moment, like the second that I leave school, I can actually focus on what I need to get done in these next 3 weeks. What is going to be sad is I've grown up at that school, so that's like a 13-year chunk of my life that I'm just leaving behind. Like, see you later.
I'm
You
sure
know?
it'll still be there.
Yeah,
13
it'll-
years if you want to go back and see it.
That's debatable.
Lifer? Is that how you call it?
Yeah, lifer.
Lifer.
Yeah.
13 years. So you're gonna get a prize and all this stuff.
I'm gonna get a shitty little certificate that has
And a
like a
tree.
little jailbreak in it, and I'm super excited. But then some cute little 5-year-old's gonna come up and hold my hand and be like, "It's like, the journey through
Yeah.
school," and one of those little kids might just be as unfortunate as I am. So
Oh, nice. Have you got a little bit of the speech that you're gonna say, just so we can give some tips on your
Do
speech?
you speech?
Give us a speech.
Well,
Give us a speech, some tips as to.
no. I'm asking if you have some words prepared for when you go get your.
It's a bit of pressure.
Oh no!
They
Just some
were-
thoughts. Have you got something?
Some people were like, they said you can come up and do this thing. You like, if you're a lifer, you can go up and do a 3-minute speech, and I declined immediately because I'm, first of all, public speaking is fun until it's you actually get up there and speak. You know, like you're like, I have something to say, I'm going to say it, and then in front of people, no thank you, sir. And the second thing is, I'm, you know, love the school with all of my heart, but when you've been there for a really long time, you know a lot more than most people know.
So you want to start fresh, do new
Yeah.
things, and new chapters.
Yeah, new chapters, new things, you know, expand the old horizons and not dwell so much on this chapter of my life, even though it was huge. Moving forward is also very important.
Were you a lifer, Jess?
I was.
Were you?
I was.
Did you have a speech?
No.
No.
I can't even remember getting a certificate, honestly.
Really?
I think I did.
Don't they
Like-
give you trees, don't they? I swear they gave them trees that the
They
kids go
did
up.
that, but the guy who, because it was a Cody tree, and the guy who ran Cody 2000 died.
So if anyone else in the community wants to bring some trees for the lifers to grow, that would be cool. Like they might have
Yeah.
something sorted out, Petra, probably.
Yeah, probably. They'll have something, surely, like a lolly at least.
That would be cool.
Like
Yeah.
a Macintosh or something. Like
Yeah.
a little, or a minty, maybe.
Do you, Jess, do you remember the feeling of finishing school and getting ready for what was coming next?
Not really. It was a long time ago. I remember, now that I'm not at school, I feel like I should have been way more fortunate to be at school. Because you know, you do school and you sort of have your part-time job if that's what you do. And you don't have any other worries in the whole world. But when you leave school,
So you're saying
you-
it gets worse.
oh, well, no, no,
That
it
sounds
gets much better. It's much cooler. But then, you know, you get your bills and, oh man, I've got to buy a house. Not that you have to. I've got to buy a house. I've got to be an adult. I've got to, you know,
Yeah.
manage expectations. So. When you're at school, there's no worries.
Yeah, and I think that's a cool thing that, like, I won't say all, but a lot of the younger people that I talk to nowadays, I think because we have more access to information and we can see different lifestyles, you know, like social media, and like people are always recording and telling what they're doing. I feel, you please tell me what you think, but like, I feel there's less pressure to conform to that classic thing, full-time job, family, get married. It feels like a lot of the younger people are a bit more open-minded. Enough of flour, Jess? Thank you. It lasted for way longer than I thought.
Just glad I wasn't
So
the first to
thank
cave.
Oh, I'm gonna get a look at this.
No, oh, there you go. So, what you can take the wig off if it's annoying you. Don't worry. But what do you think?
About the conformity, I've never felt the pressure to conform because, first of all, my dad's a little bit out there as it is. So, like, as far as my parents go, they were pretty good. My mum always wanted me to go to university because she's passionate about education. But that's about as far as that one goes. And my dad's like, get out there, live your life, don't have kids
Yeah.
because they suck. And I'm like, yeah,
Thanks, Dad.
thanks, Dad. No, he's pretty good. He loves us, but sometimes.
Gotta be honest to the children, right?
Yeah,
Tell the
exactly.
children the truth.
Yeah, so he's always been like, you know, get out there, live your life, and before you like try and settle down and do anything. And there was never that pressure to conform for me. And then as far as society goes, again, you talk about like there's more media and people are more conforming in a different way. There's like hustle culture now, and everyone's like, oh, I got to work hard every day. Oh, full-time job. If I'm not rich by the time I'm 25, then I'm going to,
Be a failure.
yeah.
Buy 6 houses. Buy 6 houses and you can retire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It's in the way that I see it, again, only my perception, like it's a sad way of seeing life because like wealth, there's no limits, you know, like, so it doesn't matter how much you have.
It's a free market,
If you're
baby.
already in that mindset, you will always want more and you will always think that there's more to achieve, and then you realize there is an internal void that you cannot fill with
Yeah.
Money.
I'm a bit scared of that, I think, because I'm going to uni, unlike Petra.
Yeah.
Well, like as of yet.
So you have decided.
I've decided.
Uni.
I'm all booked in. I've got my dorm. I've got my down payment, all set.
Awesome.
I'm just worried about like afterwards, like getting a job, just fitting into the system, and then even though it's like art, I'm going into art, something I'm really passionate about. I'm worried it's going to become like not a passion because I'll just be doing it every day, just like the 9 to 5. So I don't know.
So you're studying arts where?
Wellington, Massey.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know.
So cool.
I know. I'm really excited.
Nice,
I
nice.
can't wait.
Wellington's epic. Such a cool city.
So there's a focus on like visual arts, right? Or like there's a bit of history, there's a bit of everything. When you have you had a look at the subjects of everything
School
that you?
itself or me personally?
Oh, because you do you pick the class? No, it comes.
It's integrated to start with. Like the first year is all sort of integrated, and then you kind of branch off into what you want to be doing, like concept or what else is there? Spatial design, like that kind of thing. Is so you start all together, and you branch off. And I'm more into like visual concept, I suppose, and like more fine arts.
Nice.
Yeah,
Beautiful. That
But-
is cool.
there is the worry about like a career in that.
Well,
No one say anything. No, I know.
Oh, no,
It's okay.
Well, you talking to someone who I call myself an artist. You know, like I consider myself an artist. You know, like all the things that I do are related somehow to an artistic outlets. You know, like teaching, but I'm into music. You know, like I'm banging on drums with kids, and then when I have to help the other departments. Is still trying to understand what's happening in the arts department. So again, I think it's that idea of like trying to detach from what you expect the things to be and just making yourself happy. Sounds cliche, but like it does, right? But it's what most old people will say. Like we had last week a 90-year-old man, Marco Polo, you know, like, and he was saying those things. He was like, oh, you know, like people are gonna get you when you less expect. Sometimes you trust people and then you realize they were not good for you, but like you gotta stand up for who you are and do the things that you love regardless, because like the world gets crazy and you never know what's gonna be, you know. So I think the art's beautiful because it's good for yourself.
Yeah, and I think a lot of things relate to it. Like it's good skills to have, like the discipline of just trusting the process. Like, you know, like when you're painting, you just know it's gonna work out, and the only way to fix it, I suppose, is just keep going. So there's good skills you can learn from it.
Great skills. And you, Petra,
Yeah.
what's the thing for next year?
Next year, I'm traveling because I couldn't decide on whether I wanted to go to university and if I went, what I wanted to study. So I was like, you know what? I've got a fair amount of money saved up, and so I'm going to throw it all down the drain by going places that I think are cool. Yeah. But so going to start traveling around New Zealand, and then in May, I'm going to Europe with my sister, which is awesome.
Nice.
Very cool.
Whereabouts in Europe? Do you have a plan, or are you just gonna see what?
A little bit of a plan. So a lot of what I'm doing is actually happen to overlap with a lot of my other friends' travels, which is awesome. So my friend Phoebe is going to be in England around the same time that I am. So we really want to go for a hike in the Highlands in Scotland. Want to go to, you know, a lot of the Romance countries, you know. It's my thing, and my sister wants to go to Amsterdam desperately. So
It's a good goal to have. Going to Amsterdam.
Yeah, nice. You've been to Europe, eh?
I have. I barely remember it. When I was like 14, maybe, with the family, went in a camper van. 2 weeks in, what's the like island with England and a bit of Ireland and Scotland on it? Is Britain? Is that Britain? Is that what you call Britain?
Great Britain.
Great Britain.
Mhm.
Yeah, the islands, Great Britain. Went across
Yeah.
that for 2 weeks, and then 4 weeks in Europe, and we did like through France, Italy, and back up through Germany. Yeah, I barely remember it. It's a good experience, but I wish I could remember more of it. But yeah,
As an artist, you probably get to travel as
Yeah,
well.
I'm sure
I
you'll
hope
go
so.
back.
Yeah.
I hope so, if I can afford it.
Yeah. Well, and again, like just things that I'm learning as we do this show. A visual artist that came here, and he said most of his friends who are established artists, they live overseas, You know, like they do things overseas. Like you can obviously live in New Zealand and do your thing and be very successful here, but you end up meeting people from all over the world and going to places. So who knows where it's gonna take you?
Yes, guys. Yeah, I'd love to travel. I'd love to travel, but there's also the thing like if I take a gap year, I'm worried I might not get back on track to uni, or to like what I would. This is bad. What
To
I
your
would call a
career.
sustainable career. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
What do you think, Jess? Is it always a chance to go back and study? How do you feel about that?
I left school and I did some studying, but it was just hospitality related things. So I worked in a bar in Auckland, and then I did some like hospitality related studies while I was in Auckland. But that was only for a few months. So I did that, and then I studied, and then I think I moved back here for a little while, and then I ran the Whitianga Hotel for a little while, and then I left and went to Australia. That was kind of like my gap year. So I did a little bit of studying and then I left.
That's good.
Yeah.
I feel like
That's
a gap year
awesome.
after uni is probably what I'll do. Once I've sort of sorted myself out more.
And then you might go somewhere and you might
hopefully.
think, man, this is epic.
Yeah.
I want to live here. I want to work here.
Yeah, exactly.
I think when you let go of the idea that you need to study, that's when you want to study. You know what I mean? Because like I finished school when I was 17 and I jumped straight to uni. So I was like, I want to get this out of the way. I want to get a diploma. Like I didn't even have in mind that maybe I didn't need it. You know, like my family was like, oh, I think it's a good idea. Your sister is doing it, so you might as well. And I'm like, oh, okay, makes sense. And I was studying social communications, like radio, TV, media. So like it was uni, but it was not like, you know, becoming a doctor or anything. So I wanted to get that out of the way. I'm like, I'm going to get a diploma and it's all good. And then I started working. But then I came to New Zealand. I started like to study a second language and then you meet interesting people and then you have inspiring conversations and then you realize that like knowledge is king. Like when you know stuff, everything flows, you know, like I'm not saying that you have to be super smart, but like when you have experiences, life gets more interesting. So like nowadays I actually consider more than ever, I'm like, oh, things that I never thought about, or like a post grad or something. I'm like, it would actually be cool to go back to studying, you know, like, so.
Well, that's good. It's good that you still have motivation to do it, I suppose.
But that's what I'm saying, because I don't feel like I need anymore, you know, like it's not like I'm happy. Like I'm happy doing whatever any job will do to keep me alive because money is not a problem.
Yeah.
So now I understand that actually knowledge is cool. And in my view, it's a shame that it costs so much. Isn't it ridiculous? Should be cheap, should be available, should be free for everyone, you know, qualifications should be like, what do you guys want to be? But like, it really breaks down like into elites, you know, like social class, because you can afford or not, or even worse, or you carry the debt forever.
Oh yeah, that's a big fear. Yeah, they're working on making it free, I think.
Yeah.
For my first year, I don't have to pay. Next year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a great start. Yeah, but that's been like that for what, a couple of years, maybe even more in New Zealand.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. They reckon they're gonna make it all like your whole entire 4 years free, I think. But then
Wow.
there's still like accommodation and stuff. Like my accommodation is, I don't even have enough money for it yet. Yeah.
So do you have to work as well?
I will have to work. Yeah. Yeah, and that's even with the free, like fees free. So it's still expensive, but I don't know. It's good that they're working on it to try and help.
For sure.
I haven't taken out a loan though. Oh, I don't think I probably should do that. But yeah.
You got the energy, you got the time. That's one thing that plays on the side of being young and doing that.
Yeah.
Like you go through things that will make you value the efforts in the future. You know, you're like, oh, I pushed it, I made it happen.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Petra's in Amsterdam.
In Amsterdam, on the canals, and Alex is like stressing over their
Student
final
loans.
exam and their student loan, and I'm just sitting on the edge of the river, feet in the water, like, damn, I'm broke, but at least I'm not Alex.
Well, and then in 10 years you can crash in
as
her
well.
couch in Amsterdam.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I won't let you in.
Alex, are you still there? Yeah, I can see you from my window.
Yeah, no, I became homeless, funny thing, because I didn't go to university and get a proper career.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, I hope that's not the case, because if university is the way to a real future and non-homelessness, a lot of people are screwed.
I'd be homeless if that was the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely not the case.
No.
No. And another thing that I see happening often, it's people sticking to a plan just because they made that plan before.
Yeah.
Fuck the plan, man. You know, like if you go to uni and you realize after a few months or 1 year or whatever, like, I don't think this is for me, then it's better to stop than carrying it on with something that will actually make you upset. Or,
I think there's a lot of people whose parents are, you need to be this and I expect you to do this. I think there's a lot of that too.
My dad was the opposite. My dad tried to stop me, well, didn't try to stop me. He just was against the idea of going to uni because he didn't go to uni and he's done really well for himself.
Taylor is asking you just a little bit closer to your mic, and you as well, Jess.
It means I have to
Thank you.
hear my voice, but okay.
Yeah, your voice.
Yeah, but my dad reckons he's living the ideal life, and he didn't go to uni. He started a trade, had a family, and he's doing well. He's got a little greenhouse with his garden going along, and yeah, he's living the dream. I think that would be kind of how I want to end up. But I'm also going to uni.
You guys are all into the more like sustainable. Is it right to call alternative? Because I don't like the words, because for me it's the ideal way of living, is not the alternative. But you would say that, right?
I say so. We live on a lifestyle block, so we're like, I don't know, we're really big on the lifestyle, I think, which is cool. Yeah. But we're not like, I mean, we've got solar panels, but we're not super like off grid. We still.
Because your family's quite horsey, is that right?
We used to have a horse. How did you know that?
I feel like I know your sister Rochelle.
Yeah.
Your sister?
Yeah, Rochelle. Yeah, she's my cousin.
And she, when I went to Placemaker, she used to come in, and her husband, Max?
Yes.
Yeah, so I used to know them quite well. And then I saw you last time, and I was like, I wonder if.
Yeah, all the teachers at school remember me because of them.
Ooh, how fun.
Yeah. No, I won't say anything about that.
Has it always been like that since you were a child, or like they got,
We moved out to Kurgan when I was like 5, and since then it was like, this is it, like this is how we're living. I mean, it's not that different. It's like, it's just some small stuff like getting eggs from the chickens in the morning. That's like, and
it sounds simple, but like when you look at the world, like what are the odds of like the population in the world that can go and grab?
That's
life.
Yeah.
No, it's really nice. I do like to appreciate that.
Yeah, that is cool. And fruit trees?
Yep, got heaps of those. Dad's peaches, Dad's plums, and we stew them up every like autumn once the trees are finished, and then we get them for all winter. Like they sit in the fridge, like there's big like containers of stewed peaches. I'm not a big fan, but yeah, they're nice, and like sponges and stuff.
Taking for granted, Petra.
Yeah, totally taking for granted, bro.
We can share them.
Your family does share.
We do share.
I drink lemony water every morning, and the biggest sponsor for my habits is the Litherland family, bringing me lemons.
Oh, you see Zach leaving for his drum lesson in the morning, like he's got a big bag of lemons. Like I don't know his schedule, but I know he's got drums because he'll have like a sack of like 6 lemons. What do you do with all those lemons?
I just said it's
Put
the
them
lemony
in the water.
Yeah, and I learned that from a beautiful Japanese friend. She said that like a tiny teaspoon of apple cider vinegar and lemony water in the morning is just like keeps you young. I don't know if she's right, but like look at my hair. Yeah, it's looking amazing. So I think she's right.
Yeah, no, that's something my parents are so into. My dad and my stepmom Joy's a bit like very like your parents. Like take that, and then she's ferments everything. She bakes her own bread. She's all that all the way. She's been doing this for years. She lived in communities for like she lived in communities in South America for years before she came here. And she's not South American though. She's from New Zealand. And where was I going with this?
She's earthy. She's like my parents.
Oh. Yeah. Well, because we were talking about the habits of the apple cider vinegar.
The apple cider vinegar, yeah. She introduced my dad to apple cider vinegar. I just have a very funny story about this. And this was, so they started drinking it in their water every morning, and we have like this giant bottle. Great, fantastic. I was 11 years old, having a great time at the dinner table, and my dad walks up to me with a little glass of apple cider vinegar. I didn't know what it was. I was give it a sniff, and he's like, "Oh, just try it. It's so good for you." And and he's just like, "Oh yeah, so good for you. Just give it a little try. Give it a little sip." Straight apple cider vinegar, shot at it. 11 years old. Obviously never tried alcohol or anything. So this is the first experience of something just
burning your
burn.
throat.
Oh, the worst. And he did it just to
Did he
see our
laugh at you?
faces.
Sure.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was classic. It was pretty funny. We all had a good laugh.
There's a big difference between this is good for you and this is good. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being good is like, ugh. So that's my thing in the morning. I put myself into tough things in the morning because my day can only get better.
It's like going for a run in the morning. Just
Yeah.
started off real bad.
Yeah, and cold showers. I'm into the cold shower. So like, after you have a cold shower and you have a sip of apple cider vinegar, the day has to get better. Like
Yeah.
it's impossible.
Massachusetts.
That is not gonna get better.
Yeah.
But it's good for your gut. Good for your.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Pretty
imagine.
So-
That's what my dad says. He says, do something in the morning. Do something. Wait, what does he say? Do it because you don't want to do it, and it teaches you to be grateful.
Yeah. Yes. Because
Love that.
Something like that.
well, like, and if you think like we live in a society where like being comfortable is just the norm. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
You know, like a warm shower, a comfortable bed. You know, like you don't have a lion running after you, or like you
Yeah.
know, like we're pretty
We're
comfortable. And then but when you go through something challenging, you thrive after, right?
Yeah.
Usually it's challenging first, and then you fear that. But when after, if you survive, obviously, if it doesn't kill you, then you're like, oh, actually, that was pretty good. So I think that's where it lies, the thing with putting
Yeah.
yourself.
Can be the case.
Can be?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could also feel worse.
You could also feel
you
worse.
could also feel much worse.
Trauma's a real thing.
Yeah. I don't mean like if
Yeah.
someone is
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
something, but like when you see a challenge and when you accept to take
And rise to it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, when
Like
someone puts you in a weird
An optional situation.
yes, but sometimes like even
not
with
even.
like let's say a workplace that is not great for you, but it's gonna maybe help, or like you want to get to a place and you kind of have to put up with that. It might become a bit of a thing of like, well, how long can I take this? You know, like if it's not good, obviously you leave. But like if it's not the worst thing in the world and it's actually taken to a place, like I think, again, just because I've been through that, you know, like when I came to New Zealand and I was looking for an opportunity, like to get to a place that would help me with a visa that would be nice to me, like, and then you put up with a job that sometimes is not the greatest. But then after you're like, oh man,
How many people
I
did I
made it.
meet? And
yeah, you meet people, and people share those stories. You know, oh, did you do that with that guy? Oh man, good on you, you tough man.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, but obviously, if it's putting you on a situation that is not the greatest.
No, but it's good to be challenged.
Yeah.
It's good. I don't know. I like it. I tried to do the cold showers, and I was doing really well, and then I'd start slacking off, and I'd just stop doing it, and it just faded.
Yeah.
But I do go to the gym in the morning, so that's my little
Nice.
flex. Yeah. I get up at 6, and then I don't get there till like 8, like 7:38. But yeah, that's my little claim to fame.
Yeah.
Claim to fame.
Because you practiced martial arts for a while, right?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. But
Back
you
in
did.
the day, when I was like 12, I did taekwondo. I got my black belt, but my parents kind of pressured me into doing it. Like they went along, so I'd kind of go with them.
Yeah.
So I stopped because I was like, oh, you can't make me do that anymore. I'm 13. But I wish I hadn't. I wish I
Speaking
just
of doing
kept-
things without wanting, mom and dad.
Yeah. Yeah, so I got to my black belt, and then I just gave up, and I wish I hadn't, because it's going to cost me heaps to get back into it now, and my parents used to pay for it.
oh,
So, yeah, I don't know.
is it hard to get a black belt?
No. No, it is.
Like, is it challenging? Like,
it was-
'cause there's quite a few before that, right?
You start at white belt, and then you go yellow, and then I can't remember, green, blue, red, black.
Oh,
And
there's
you've got
heaps.
in between those, you've got
Wow.
your tips. I don't know how I remember. It's all up here. Yes, and you got to do, on my club we had to do like 100 push-ups, sit-ups, and a 12.4 kilometer run in 12 minutes. And
Oh.
it's good. It's good. And I did it when I was like 13, 12, 13. Yeah, it's
Incredible.
couldn't do it now.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, I used to be a trooper.
So when
Used
did
to
you
be a unit.
start? So to be able to get a black belt at what, 12?
8.
Oh,
I think it was
That's a
8.
good
Maybe
effort.
I'm wrong. Maybe I've got the time. I think it was 8. And yeah, my sister started at the same time, and she was 6. So yeah,
It's good effort.
it's like
It's a good effort, yeah. Do you feel like it still reflects on your discipline? Because as an artist, you're there, you're in the zone, you're doing your thing. Is it how for both of you, but mainly because I know that Alex, it's much more into the visual arts kind of thing. Like how is your brain like when you're doing those stuff? Like, is it going everywhere? Is it very focused? Can you focus on other things? How does that work?
I remember when I used to be in the lessons, would be in like the hall, and I'd be like looking at the windows at my reflection and like listening to like the lights buzzing, and like I used to get really distracted. But I think I got better, and I don't know, it might have something to do with how I can just sit and paint for like hours. But I think it's more like I've embraced the mindset a lot more now that I'm not doing it. Like, it's like the whole thing my dad says, like, just do what you don't want to do, and it just pushes you to just do better. And I think that's what it was all about. Like, we used to, what did we do? Like, I don't know, it was intense stuff. Like, we had to like duck walk up these stairs in Aotearoa. I think it's affected me a lot, and yeah.
And nowadays, when you are producing, when you're sitting there doing your, do you have an idea? Can you visualize the artwork? How it's gonna? No.
No. Sometimes with my folio, I've got these like 3 books of just my ideas that I've been trying to like visualize before I get into my big paintings, because I'll end up doing something that I don't like because I not usually, but I do my like trust the process thing, and I just start painting and I just start going for it, and sometimes it doesn't go well. And since I don't have time, because I've got my massive 3-panel folio, I've been trying to like visualize it on paper because it just doesn't seem as clear in my head. Yeah, like I don't know, if people expect artists to be able to like visualize really well, but I can't, and I've never really been able to. I'm getting better at it, but it's just like a skill that I can't like envision
The end product.
Yeah.
I remember when we talked to, I can't remember their names, those 2 artists, and I was like, do you guys, when you start, do you see this in your head and go, yep, this is what it is? Or do you sort of maybe reference something else, and then it's just a process to get to something like that? Because I felt like I used to draw quite a lot too, and it would be so hard for me to try and pull something out of up here
so
and
hard,
put it here. But I would look at a picture and be like, oh, that's quite cool. Maybe I could do something like that.
Using reference is a really good starting point. If any of you guys ever starting art, look at references. Don't look at anime characters. Not a good reference. I wish I could tell my 13-year-old self that. Look at real people, look at real things, not other people's drawings of things. And then once you've looked at things enough, I think that's when it starts like building up in your head your little collection of, what's going on.
Do you like the artwork that you produce? Are you judgmental about what you create, or you kind of like let go and next? And
I think I've got to a point where I can like it, which is really cool, because I don't know, I used to look at it and be really proud, and then 2 days later I'd look at it again and be like, what is this? What was I thinking? But some of my newer art, I can still be happy with it like days after. Like, I've done this, I think I'm doing pretty well. Getting there.
nice,
Cool.
And for you, Petra, it's so what was the subjects that you chose? Was it drama to do the?
Yeah. So my little artsy subjects are drama and music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So drama is entirely different, because not when you're drama, you're focusing on the acting. So you're focusing on the performance side solely. There's very little writing involved. You get a little devising thing where you get to be a little bit creative within a sort of certain grounds. And drama isn't much of like a flow state creative sort of thing. It's more about trying to produce a performance that can send a message to an audience. Your whole goal is to like say something through your acting. Music, on the other hand, you do get quite a fair amount of opportunity to get into that sort of creative space that Alex is talking about, with like the creative process and from start to final product, if there ever is one, and those kinds of things.
You should tell us about your drama performance today.
Oh god.
So it comes. It's a piece that is like, it's a classic piece, or like can you actually write a scene and act it out? Like how does it work? Like the choice to what's gonna be acted, what is gonna be performed.
We're tapping out.
We're missing. Let's see who last.
Wouldn't notice.
Let's see who's the last one, Petra. Let's see.
Yeah. So as far as drama goes, there's one unit that you can do in school called devising, where you devise a piece that's based off of either, depends on what year you're in, but like a historical event, a theme in year 11, or I think a historical person was our one this year. So like, for example, this year we based ours off of, the very light topic of serial murderers.
Oh yeah, super.
Which
super light.
we actually based it off Jeffrey Dahmer, and then then the documentary came out, and I felt really sick, and I also realized that we did a great job. So
have you watched it?
nuh-uh.
On
I watched a trailer and I actually walked out the room.
Right.
It sounds horrible.
I
Yeah.
watched it. I
Have you,
loved
Jess?
it.
Oh.
Yeah. Is it
Oh,
good?
you're one of
I
those
love-
true
yeah.
true crime
I
girlies.
love that shit. Yeah, love it. Watch the whole thing.
Was it the one that the actor kind of like got a bit like most actors when they go to those extreme
Evan
roles?
Peters.
Yeah.
What's he from?
I'm not sure, eh?
American Horror Story.
There you go.
The
Yeah,
media knowledge.
It's very good. It's
Yeah.
very good. It's very gross. Very graphic. So yeah, but it's good though, because
Yeah.
there's that one, and then there's like another one which I think is more about, not so much like a documentary. There's more like an actual. Sorry, it's the other one's like a documentary. The one that I watched is more sort of the Evan Peters one, where it's you watching it sort of happen, and the other one is about like the news reporters talking about it. and
Yeah.
da-da-da-da.
They did the same with that. I don't know the name, but Bundy one.
Oh,
Did-
God.
they had, what was his,
I
what's
watched
his
that
name?
one.
That guy.
Zac Efron?
Yeah,
That's
Zac
the one.
Efron.
Great actor.
That's terrible. Why would you cast us? Why would you cast him?
Because he looked a little bit like him.
Did he look like him?
But I think that's the cool thing about, because he was quite like mainstream with the whole High School Music kind of
He
thing. Hey,
broke
and
the
then-
typecast in that one.
And then I think for him was kind of like it's a chance to,
Yeah.
to break through of those images that I can only do there. I think he
True,
did
actually, yeah.
amazing. Yeah, it was a pretty good one, and heavy. I watched both. I remember watching the doco as well, and yeah. So how was tapping into that as a that's a cool
Yeah.
thing for the drama subject that I always admire.
Yeah.
Like I love how Biega is doing and how Jamie used to do. Like the topics are heavy stuff, man. Like you guys
You
talk a
can-
lot about it before doing it.
Yeah, so the whole thing about devising is, once again, you're trying to convey something to an audience, which means it has to be really clear what you're conveying so that the final product is also really clear what you're trying to say. So that one, yeah, I just think the idea that you can get into something so dark in a subject helps, because of the amount of teenage angst that I have right now, that, you have when you're like around like 14 to like 17, 18. Oh, you're just like, oh yeah, murderers, people dying, rah, the world's so sad, and you can sort of channel that somewhere, which helps. I wasn't the most angsty little kid after the age of 16, but there's still a little bit there. So yeah,
So acting is it's good. It helps. Do you watch your performance, like the recording? No. What about the singing? Because you both sing.
I can't listen to. I don't like.
No.
I don't like listening to my voice. Yeah. I think my dad showed me some recordings of myself for my hand in as my solo, like for music class. I just don't want to hear it. It just sounds. I don't know. I think I sound better than I do. It's embarrassing.
yeah, no, that's a huge thing. We did a little song, self plug. But not really, because I can't be bothered right now.
Hey, our song.
Yeah, our
I'll
song.
plug it. It's called Undertow by Duckfoot on Spotify. Just look it up. It's
Yeah.
good.
Give it a little look up.
Good time.
So what can you just quickly tell us
Yeah.
the story of that project, because that's a cool.
That is
story.
such a cool story.
There's no story.
There's a great story behind it.
I'll let Petra tell the
Was it the
story.
council? Someone, government body, gave the school some money to pay the legend Dave Rhodes, absolute legend.
Himself, the man himself.
The man himself. He's also like just
He's
really
wrong,
good. He's
yeah.
recorded a bunch of like top artists and stuff, and he's just like he's
Lots of
it.
parcels, Dave Rhodes.
Good drummer too.
Yeah, he's a great.
Also,
he's
cool.
a cool.
He's also just a nice guy.
Just a really nice,
All around, just
cool guy. Anyways, they paid this very amazing cool guy to come in and record record an album for the school. And because we're like such a cool band, we got on that and we recorded our little song, which I may or may not have written the lyrics for in like 20 minutes
yeah.
as a joke. I was like, it was pretty bad. We were sitting there and I was like not thinking of any topics, and then I just look at Alex, and Alex is like playing the little guitar riff, and I was like, do you want to write a song about mortality? And Alex was like, yeah.
I didn't care. Just, as long as Petra wrote the lyrics, I just didn't mind.
And then like in 2 days there were lyrics that sound very ominous and scary. It just suits the little creepy vibe of the song though, so it's fine.
Yeah, no, I like that. It was good.
Yeah.
For me, I just like, I went into the studio and I played the little do-do-do-do-do, and then I'd go out, and then I'd come back the next day, and then I've added drums, and then I'd come back the next day, and then just vocals, and I just had no idea what was going on in the song.
Yeah.
I kind of just, it was cool. I just got to watch the song kind of come together around what we'd laid down.
Yeah.
It was good. And then Taiju, the violin solo.
pulled it together. If you listen to that song, I would... the violin solo just pulls the whole song together. We've got this awesome, really heavy, dirty bridge, and then he and I'll quote him. He just let himself play. He just let himself play. He just let it go, and he said, "I literally just let my fingers guide me on the neck of the board." And I was like, "He's so good. He's so good."
So is Taiju part of the band, or he just came for like a special appearance?
One of our guest members.
Yeah, guest members.
Because it is a girls band, right?
Yeah, I suppose so. Not on purpose.
Yeah.
Just because we happened to be, I don't know, playing together, and then in year 10, me and Layla and Anna,
and
two
Charlie.
others, and Charlie.
Yeah.
In year 10, just kind of stuck together through, and then we had different members come in. Some people left. We've had many different names, and now we've got a song, so we have to stick with it. Yeah. Yeah.
Recorded by an amazing producer, so that's a great start. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. And the thing with that I asked you about watching your performances, must say, is the same for me with the show, because we do so much. So sometimes I don't even have the time to watch back. But when I do, it's actually good because I see where I can improve.
That's the best
and
thing.
a lot of musicians, a lot of bands, they do that. So like they finish playing, they go straight to the green room or whatever, and they have a chat with the band. You know, like they don't let anyone come in. They just discuss what happened. You know, like, oh, that part, we can make it better here or there. So I know that it's challenging, but it's a good place to improve as well.
Thank you.
Oh God, I found myself recording yourself singing. There are like so many places you can improve, man. Because like it's like an instrument where you can't really just like, you know, it's similar to like playing the violin. You can't you don't have no visual of where you're going, like absolutely none. You can't just like look at yourself and be like, oh yeah, I know exactly what I need to do because I can see I I hit the wrong string or something, or like I hit the wrong drum and I saw that and I heard it at the same time. It's like, I'm singing, the reverb in your ears affects how you hear yourself in the first place. Like you don't actually hear yourself properly. And then on top of that, you're self-pitching. And you're like, I went off here and I know I went off, but I'm not entirely sure how and what I need to do to fix that. You need to discover it yourself. And it's hard. And listening back really did help.
Challenges. Yeah.
Very cool.
Who are the artists, like New Zealand artists or even like from all over the world, like what have you been listening to? Who are the influences? Not only influences, but like who are the people out there doing work that you guys value?
I love when people ask me about my music taste. Yeah. I was into this band when we were writing the song Slow Dive, and it was one of the bands that I got really like into for a couple of days and like a couple of weeks, and then just kind of dropped or like put to the background of my playlist, I suppose. And I don't know, I tried to copy them a little bit because there's like, I don't know much about the genre. It's called shoegaze, I think, and it's like Deftonesy. I just couldn't get into much Deftones, but I wanted to sound a bit like them. And they had really like, what's the word? It's like
I understand exactly what you're saying. Like moany. So, like my dog when you rub a tummy. Like it's just like
like you're sad, but also angry.
Yeah. Hard to describe, but
that's what I wanted to do. And I think the good thing about our band is everyone kind of has different ideas.
Yeah.
And we just pull it together.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
have you been
vastly different
listening
ideas.
to, Petra?
What have I been listening to? Oh
Yeah.
boy. My playlist is like every genre under the sun that has ever existed. Besides from women in pop, which I feel really bad about because they're
Women in
such
pop? No, women
Apart
in
from
pop.
Britney.
women in pop.
Oh, in pop. Like Britney Spears
Like
is
I
only
have
for...
I have a
for-
couple Lady Gaga songs, and every single time I skip them, and I love Lady Gaga. She's like an icon, and I cannot get into the music no matter how hard I try. And I feel really bad because
That's
she's
fine.
so cool.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
and so
Yeah, you should feel bad.
yeah, I should. I'm so sorry. So sorry, Lady Gaga. I know you're watching
But
this.
she's really offended by that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lock you in a room and
Feels
play
Yeah.
Lady Gaga for 6 hours. Non-stop.
No, because like one of my favorite songs when I was younger, I had like a really cool variety of music when I was growing up, and one of them was like Paradise City by Guns N' Roses, and then the other one was Baby by Justin Bieber, and then the next one was
Nice.
Poker Face by Lady Gaga. So I really got the variety in there.
Yep.
Yeah. So and that's continued throughout my life. My music taste is just all over the show. Like I listened to like a whole Jimi Hendrix album, then a whole Smashing Pumpkins, like all of the Smashing Pumpkins albums. Oh my god, every single song. It's terrible. And then I started listening to recently. I went back to my old playlist, and it's all coming up as Sticky Fingers. So
Sticky Fingers. There you go. What
Sticky
about
Fingers
Britney
is
Spears? We were talking about Britney Spears before the show.
Mhm. Oh yes.
I have no
Just
Britney.
a little shout out to Dave Mulholland there.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Mulholland.
We
here
see
go.
you.
Suddenly
I
in the
know
show.
I know you might watch this later, Dave Mulholland, and your Britney Spears phase
Not
that you
face,
totally went
still
through. Not a
going.
phase, still going actually.
Oh, like
knows
he-
Secret
all
Britney
the
lover.
words to Hit Me Baby One More Time.
It's a classic.
Mhm.
It's a good
Gotta
karaoke
give that
song,
one
that
to him,
one.
eh? It's a classic.
Yeah.
He's singing in the van on the way to rock. He's even got the moves like that.
Yeah.
Wow,
Uh-huh.
Mr. Mulholland. From ALTBAYS to the world. Hey, man, you didn't see that coming. Hey, bro.
Trusted us.
Trust.
Not anymore.
Hey, but the thing with being a classic, like when I was a teenager, it was because I was like, oh, the hardcore punk rock scene, you know, like, and you would oppose all the other genres, you know, like that shit, that's
I used to do
Yeah.
that.
and it's
yeah.
so bad, you know, like it doesn't really matter. Like some songs are bad, and that's a fact, but they're still cool songs, you know, like people move, you know,
Yeah.
people dance, and like, wow, does it really
No.
matter? Jess, come on, guilty
Yeah.
pleasures, what, give
Country
us,
music.
No.
country
I
music.
love country.
Yeah.
I love a bit of country.
All I listen to, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
in my career,
Cotton Eye Joe.
career van, if you ever hear me driving past, country music.
Bit of wagon wheel.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Classic busking
Yeah.
songs.
it's more like,
Garth Brooks.
oh yeah, like
Yeah, classics.
all sorts. Luke Combs, Muscaline Bloodline.
There you go.
Yeah, there's all sorts of cool
The
stuff.
people who know, they know.
Yeah.
They know.
And I'm yeah.
I remember. I lived with I was living in this house for a long time, and then like flatmates coming and going. You know, like this girl from I think South Africa, and she's like she watched us playing, Stu and I, and we do this mix of like folk, punk, you know, a bit of everything, gypsy. And then she came so excited. She was like, "Wow, that was so cool! What a cool performance! Like you guys are so good. I love the music. Like oh cool." And then you know like days go by, and I can see that like she every time that she looks at me, like she's brewing something, like she's thinking about something to say, you know, and she's waiting for a moment. And then like after maybe a week, she comes to me and she's like, "I've been thinking," and I was like, you know, in my mind here, and I think I got the perfect song for you guys to play. And I'm like, "Oh really?" She's like, "Yeah, great song. Like people love dancing the song." And you're getting curious, right? Because I
getting
could see
curious.
that she was thinking about that like for days. And then she's like, "Then I've made my mind up, I've been a long time ago." Like she couldn't sing, but she could rap. Like you don't know that I do. And I was like, whoa! Like and then you think, oh, should I laugh? Like is she serious? She was dead serious.
Oh, it's a good song.
Yeah.
Cotton Eye Joe.
Cotton Eye Joe,
God, no, Joe.
Stu Pidley, Leo Margie, Cotton Eye Joe. That's the whole performance.
We might need Taiju.
Yeah, you need to get Taiju in there. He'd so be down. Honestly, Taiju's down to play anything. He's an incredible
great.
musician. He'll hear you and he'll be like, yeah, sorry. Let me just improvise a whole 6-hour composition.
Yeah.
I played him Dropkick Murphys once, and he like nailed it the first try.
What? Amazing.
Yeah, he's got perfect pitch. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Big fans of
Yeah.
Taiju over
Big
here.
fans of Taiju.
There you go. Shout out to Taiju.
Yeah, shout out Taiju Watanabe. Just yeah.
Have you got some claps there for Taiju, Taylor?
Oh,
Good man. Is the group all going to different places? The friends, or there are some people going to?
Oh yeah.
What's happening?
well, our band's going everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, Layla's going Otago.
Yeah.
You're going
You're going to.
Wellington, and
Amsterdam.
I'm going to Amsterdam. So
Yes. Have you been to Wellington before?
Twice.
Twice.
And one more time, I'm going
Yeah,
soon,
yeah.
soon with Petra.
Guns
Are
N'
you going to
Roses.
Guns N' Roses.
What?
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't remember the first time. I was like 3, maybe.
Mm.
Second time, I just went and checked out the uni with my friend and his mum. So that was pretty cool. And it seems like a really cool place. Weather, perfect.
No.
Nice, lovely weather. Got
Windy
yeah.
as heck.
I can get used to it. I can you can, not to sound self-absorbed, but you can like layer up. You can get some really good
Yeah.
fits when it's cold.
Beanie on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so good.
But yeah, it seems really cool. I didn't look around enough in the 2 days I was there, but
Very
hopefully we'll get to
very
soon.
Yeah, yeah.
craft berry, very like
Uh-huh.
great coffee shops.
Mm.
It's a cool
Yeah.
The
spot.
coffee
Love
shops, the op shops that you look at
Oh,
and then
yeah.
leave immediately because they're so expensive.
Oh, yeah. Good to look though. eh?
Actually, go to the
Oh, yeah.
Newtown one. There's a little vegan one. They're like adorable and they're like pet safe and everything. And so many good bargains. Like the best little op shop in Wellington that there ever was. And Cannons Creek just outside. If you guys are looking for op shops in Wellington, I'm your guy, bro. Your guy. Go to university soon. Looking for some cheap stuff. I know the spots.
Can you actually show me?
Yeah.
That's for sure. The coolest op shops. You know that cap that I wear, the pink one full of flowers.
Yes.
Stuff?
Yeah.
50 cents from
Oh.
an op shop in Wellington.
50 cents.
Yeah, it was
Keep
like
doing that.
someone forgot probably at the end of
Yeah,
a
yeah.
basket or something, and I was like, "How much is this?" And it was like, 50 cents. I'm like, "Oh, wow.
That's
Bargain.
great.
All right, thank you.
Op
Take
shop
$1,
deals.
thank you." Yeah, so
Op shop deals, the best.
I know, right?
Find them all the time, bro.
I think I got these pants and shirt at the op shop together for probably, I don't know, like $8 max.
Yes.
Most of my clothes, like the majority, like 90% of my clothes from the op shop.
Yeah.
Not underwear. That's gross.
Yeah.
That's gross. Don't
Buy
Okay,
new
so
underwear,
that's
I
guys.
don't support that.
Is that where you draw the line,
That's where I draw the line.
Alex? No.
Shoes, hats,
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
I bought a pair of shoes in an op shop once and I got athlete's foot from them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man,
I
not good.
just bought a pair of shoes, but they're
Okay.
so
oh,
not
they're
good.
cool shoes.
they're mint.
They're mint.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's my little preface to these brand new shoes. $5,
Oh,
vintage Essex Tigers.
love it.
They are like, I've been looking for them for like the past 2 years, and they are like $200 plus most of the time. And I got them for $5. And the woman like up there, I thought she was going to say something like $20, and I was going to be like, oh, this is a little bit of a bummer to my bank account. And she like took something, and she's like, oh, and it looks like these are $5, and I like had to
Just
contain
got fall
myself.
over.
Just like,
In Fitzyounger?
Yeah.
What?
yeah, just here.
So you wouldn't even mind the athlete foot, eh? For $5,
I would
you
five
just take
five
that,
bucks.
eh?
$5 bucks.
powder.
They've got a good,
Yeah,
good
it's
powder for athlete's foot.
Yeah,
you'd be
exactly.
right.
I'd get a good powder. Exactly. I mean, the cost of athlete's foot is definitely worth these shoes.
Price you're willing to pay.
Well, I mean, $5 isn't enough.
True. You won't be there forever, eh? In your foot, like you just need to.
You
walk
never
bare
know.
feet. You never know.
You never know. I tell you what, I had athlete's foot when I was like 4 years old for like 5 years. It was terrible.
It's rough,
What,
and
what
Mhm.
exactly is athlete's foot? Sorry if this is a personal
Oh.
question, but
No, it's
What-
actually
it's
important.
pretty-
like,
it's pretty
ALTBAYS
nasty.
is
like all the
informational.
skin on your feet like
Peels off.
peels off.
And your toes
It's
crack
it's
in
really
between
crack.
themselves.
whoa.
Like they
That's-
split.
Yeah, it's not nice.
Is it itchy? Does it get itchy? Or no, it's just.
I think it's more sore.
You
eh?
look
Like,
at
it's
it,
more like
you like look at it and you're starting to get concerned, and then your toes just crack open. I had
Yeah.
the problem. I got it from kindergarten, and I carried it through. And I was a barefoot little kid. Like I ran around barefoot constantly, and I couldn't get rid of it. I had some like evil strain of it.
So you just be
Yeah.
out and about with your
just raw dog in the world with athlete's foot.
Spreading it to the world, man. Walk in my footsteps, and you're gonna get yourself some fungus.
So let's not even talk about why you don't buy underwear in the op shop, right? Let's keep that one there. Alex.
Yeah.
that one in the back.
But you, Petra, you mentioned the vegan places in Wellington.
Yeah.
So you're still on a plant-based mission.
Plant-based mission, baby.
Yeah.
The only thing that I eat that isn't plant-based. Yeah, shh. Leo's very biased here.
No.
Yeah, extremely biased. I have the occasional egg. Terrible, I know. God, an egg. I'm a huge fan of honey, but only if it's sustainably sourced,
Honey
because otherwise,
honey
it's
is
life.
plant-based.
It's not vegan
It's
though.
made. How is it?
The bees make it. You actually.
Bees make
It's
I
because
worked in
actually a lot of them
beekeeping.
die
You
in
are
the process.
farming. You are farming bees.
Farming
Like
bees.
that's what the vibe is. Like I did a full beekeeping course and I learned all the little things. If you don't do it properly, basically you are starving the bees. You're putting them under stress every day or like every couple of weeks from checking them all the time. And then you take all of their honey, is what a lot of places do, and then you replace it with sugar feed, which doesn't have enough nutrition to actually look after the bees. And it's a whole cycle and the whole problem that I learned all about.
You're basically an expert.
Yeah.
We have beehives. We used to have beehives. They pinched them. They took them, and they haven't given them back. And we need bees to like pollinate the orchard, my dad's trees that I mentioned. There's no bees. They're gone. So Petra, you should
I'll come and stick a little hive in there.
I think the problem, that's why so many people give shit to vegans and they don't like how vegans can be annoying about things. But like, it's because the industry made it very nasty to produce food nowadays. You know, like, and that's why I like to read about indigenous people, because when you go back and you understand that there was a whole process to kill an animal to eat, you appreciate that. You know, it's like you're saying, like your family, Alex, you know, like they have the space, they have to look after, they have to think about the bees, because if there's no bees, there's no fruit. If there's no fruit, blah, blah. So the whole thing makes sense. So if you're going to kill an animal to eat, like you're going to use all the parts of the animal. You're going to eat like it's the most sacred, best food in the world. And what do we have nowadays? You know, like animals in a tiny little space, you know, being fed until they explode, and then we chuck things on the gut, you know. So I think that's the problem. A lot of vegans, sometimes they forget that there was an evolutionary thing that we ate stuff, you know, like we were living in this environment that animals were eating us and we were eating them. It was just the thing, but it's just getting out of control, food production nowadays, right?
It freaks me out that we were supposed to, like, we started out just as animals. I was just sitting and thinking about it. So I was like, we started as animals, and now we're like, I don't know, in here with
people
like,
walking
TVs
around
and
with
microphones.
jobs.
Don't even get
Jobs.
me started. Oh, I just finished.
Let's do it.
I just
Here we
finished
go.
my.
We
I just finished
started.
my 10,000. Oh, I think it might have been 6,000, but you know, it's pretty big essay on how and the difference between Indigenous people and the Western worldview affects sustainability. And like a huge topic about that is like the farming industry. And there's like someone who I recently discovered, Vandana Shiva, is a woman, and she works within organic farming. It's not even like just the problem with animal farming. Animal farming is a problem in itself. Non-organic, non-sustainable farming is a huge problem in sustainability. Monoculture in farming, huge problem with sustainability. There's so many different areas that you think about, and when you look at Indigenous people, as you're talking about, it was all very wholesome. It was because of the idea that everything is interconnected and everything is one, and our idea, which is everything is separate. There's this, and that, and I'm man, and that's an animal, and we're different. We're so separate, like you say. We started as animals.
We are.
We are still animals, and people don't. It doesn't click because of the way that philosophers throughout history. Oh my God, it starts so far back. Like you look at it, you're just like, oh my God, it's so obvious. Like a little thing that Aristotle said, and then something that this dude called Cartesian said, and it all led down to people believing that.
And then religion.
Religion, which has a smaller impact than you would think it does. If we went by entirely Christian values, or at least by just what Jesus said. God,
Jesus seemed cool.
Jesus was a pretty sweet dude. His words,
shout out to Jesus.
Shout out to Jesus.
If you're watching,
he's-
you must
yeah.
be, because
Yeah.
fucking everywhere apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, that's his father.
His father's everywhere.
Yeah, but he must
But
be.
Jesus
he must
and
get the
Spirit is everywhere
clips.
because he is like supposed to embody the Holy Spirit and his Father at the same time as being his son.
Cool, isn't it?
It's pretty whack.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
right over the top of my head.
Yeah. Anyways, religion had like a much smaller impact on this section. So the philosophy more had the impact on the way we perceive religion. So you'd be like, oh, this massive everything's separate and everything is scientific, which means that you can only look at the Bible one way, and that is logistically. And when you look at the Bible logically and you take it extremely literally, oh boy, you have a problem.
Yeah.
And that's
Can we put those claps
Yeah.
for Petra and her research
Yeah.
on?
Mhm.
So this
that
is what I
was
mean,
cool.
just
I
random
love
facts
that.
you
Petra.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
that was 4 days of binge research.
She didn't talk to me for 4 days.
I did not.
I was texting her like, "You want to hang out?" And she's like, "Nothing."
Get out.
No. I'm with the Lord right now.
Yeah.
We're having a heart-to-heart here. We're seeing where this is gonna go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so did that whole thing. I'm hoping I get a good mark on it because I sound real smart now. So if I didn't sound smart in that paper,
Send Leo in to talk to them.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, what subject was that?
It was education for sustainability, and it's externally marked, so you can't get mad at my teacher for that one. You have to get mad at whoever marks it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
depends who funded them, right?
Mm.
Depends which industry. No, I'm sorry, I'm joking. You worked in a farm for a long time, Jess.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
No.
is that right?
Yep. I love it.
But
get me
because
started, I
it's
love
because it hands on, right? And,
Yeah.
and you're active, right? So
I
we're
love-
always
I love farming.
doing the thing.
I love the job of farming. I mean, the environmental part of it is probably not my favourite thing.
What kind of farm?
Dairy.
Yeah.
So the
Mm.
worst
The
kind.
huh? Oh, yeah. The only farm.
But no, I love it, and I mean, it's hard work. It's hard work.
Yeah.
Long days. You know, slogging around in the mud in the winter, picking up calves off the ground, which is a whole other thing.
Is it what? Is it like a 4 a.m., 5 a.m. stuff?
Yeah,
Like
so
you wake
I
up
mean,
or-
I started 4:30. So I drove from here out to Croglian, the Uptons.
Oh.
Yeah, so I worked there. Started 4:30, worked till 5:30 in the afternoon every day.
Wow.
Long days.
Yeah.
So,
Is your family also plant-based, Petra? Or you're the one
Yeah.
doing the thing?
Yeah, no, so my dad is vegetarian, and so is my stepmom. My mum and my stepdad are meat eaters, pretty typical, so I cook a lot of my own food just to take the burden off. My mum likes to cook for me, but she also has like 3 other people to cook for, so yeah. And that's been going on since my dad pretty much was dating my stepmom at the time. Now.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's been, I think, like 7 years.
Oh.
My dad's been vegetarian, and I went vegetarian when I was 15. So yeah.
Was that the same time as your dad? Wait, no. Hold on, never mind.
No.
That's not
Yeah.
my thing.
It's a little bit.
Sorry.
bit-
Petra's 26, 25 years old.
Yeah.
Sounds like an old woman.
Yeah, just
Smart.
leaving school, 25 years
Wise.
old. It's all in there, bro.
Okay, let's do the classic parts that is cliche, but everybody loves it. And in the future, you will watch it and you'll be like, "Oh, Alex, look at you! Look what you were saying." What do you tell the kids nowadays who come to the drums room and then I ask, "How is school?" and then they say,
Good.
"Boring."
What would I tell them?
Yeah, does it get better?
I actually think it does. Like, okay, no, yeah, it is cliche. No, this is,
From your
Come on,
heart, Alex.
sappiness
Do it.
from the heart.
You
It
seem
gets
to
better.
like the vibe that I get from you is that you actually enjoy
I
this
enjoy
school. Like
school.
you always cruising, you talking to people, or you're in your zone, doing your thing. So I think people will appreciate listening to
this
you.
is going to make me sound so, oh well. Teachers are nice. I actually really like the teachers at school. Like, I don't know, I haven't talked to most of them, but the ones that I have classes with, I've been in class with for like 4 years now, and I don't know, you kind of get to know them, and then you get to like just talk to them, and it's just like you're just on the same level. Like, they're not a teacher and you're a student. I mean, they are, but like you get to like talk to them, and it just makes it nicer.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I like about school at the moment. I mean, other than just not knowing what else
Yeah.
I'd do without school. But yeah, teachers are nice. That's my advice. Talk to teachers.
Find those connections.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that right, Petra? How do you feel
I'll
about it?
tell you what. When you get to year 13, suddenly the teachers are like open
Yeah.
to you. Like, they like you suddenly.
Yeah.
And you're like, at first I was like, oh, those damn teachers, they just suddenly, it was you. You were growing up. You
Yeah.
kind of sucked. I'm not, like, you do a little bit of self-reflection. You realize, I kind of did suck a little bit. And I wasn't very open and talkative. And now that I'm building those relationships with my teachers, it's like, oh, all I had to do was be a decent
was
human
me
being.
the whole
I'm so
time.
sorry. But, you know, it's a learning curve growing up. I mean, God, from like year 9, everyone just go downhill. You're like the worst version of yourself. Like, oh my God, terrible human for teachers to be around because they have to try and deal, like pretty much be your authoritative figure at the same time as trying to teach you life and, you know, their subject at the exact same time. You know, they're just
Be a hard job.
a very difficult job.
Yeah.
And then like suddenly you're like end of year 12 to year 13. There's just like something that clicks. I don't know what it is, but like life's just good again, bro. Life's just fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Not
feel
yet.
like you sort of realise that, man, they're just doing their job. Like, they're not here to, like, tell you what to do. And
No.
They probably don't actually care if you do it or not, because, you know.
I mean, you make their day harder.
You have to pretend.
You make their day harder by just,
Totally.
Yeah.
I feel like they're getting worse. I feel like, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is just because I've been removed from the year 9 and 10 scene, but I think they're getting worse. No offense.
Oh.
What, the
9s and
students
10s.
or the
I've met
teachers, you mean?
No, the students.
I've
met lots of
no.
lovely year 9s and 10s, but I don't know.
You think that they're getting worse? The only thing that's getting worse is that it's more available information. Like they have little social media now. Like even just back like a couple years ago. Like I'm not saying back in my day because it's like 3 years ago. It's like
But a lot changed.
a lot changed in that short
sure.
period of time. In COVID time, and people started filming themselves way more. Like before, it was like a thing, like you film yourself because you do something funny. Now they've
just like,
like
going on,
vlog
sharing all
culture.
their-
Vlog culture is such a huge thing. They're sharing everything about themselves, and they're like every single time they do something like smoke weed or they drink, they like film themselves sculling back a beer and think that that's like the smartest idea that they've ever had. Like, oh, all my friends are gonna see me being so cool, and then their parents look at it because it's on social media and it's out for everyone to see. Yeah.
Do you what would be the good side of it then? Because the way that I see it is that you get exposed to people who are feeling things similar to you, and then you feel empowered to speak up. And I don't know, what do you feel?
I love a bit of social media. But like not for younger people. Like I feel like there's like an age department, but I think it's good in the fact I like it because I can see other people's art. That's what I first started using it for. So I can see other people's art, what other people are doing, and it inspires me. I think there's a flip side to that, where it can be seeing other people's opinions that change your own opinions, especially at a young age.
Good.
That's my thoughts on the matter.
Nice, great.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love being exposed to culture here in
Yeah.
Whitianga. Good luck. No, the level of culture that you see here is minimal.
ALTBAYS is here to trying to make a change.
Yeah,
Petra.
exactly.
That's great.
We're
trying,
making
man.
a change. We're getting the diversity out there and we're showing Whitianga's diversity, but it's very difficult to see in this town just because of its history, and that's just that is just what it is. So get to see a lot of culture. That's a beautiful, positive thing. You said online communities, connecting with other people who feel like-minded to you. Oh my God. Realizing that you're not alone, and like, you know, you thought that like, you know, people share like their darkest thoughts online. Like Reddit is a hellhole.
Don't even go.
Yeah.
Don't even go.
But you can see like, oh, other people like me, and we're all just a little bit. We all have these kinds of things, and you learn what's normal, but also you learn, as Alex said, about like a lot of things that can influence you negatively. Oh God, like there's so many things. Like you see kids, like the worst case scenarios, like those kids who get influenced by social media into violence. That's just like the worst idea. And they're 14, 15, the most vulnerable point of their life, and it's the turning point of your life, and you're like just hitting puberty, and I think everything sucks, and you feel like even on social media, if you've got a community, you still feel like nobody quite understands your particular situation because you're starting to realize that it's so different from everyone else's, which it is, and that's valid, but it's also so similar.
And you see people,
You don't
they
see
see
that.
people online just doing crazy things,
Yeah.
and people will be supporting it, and then they think it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. God, just the major problem at the moment with like alpha giga Chad males. Ugh.
I I am one. I am a alpha giga Chad male, and I can tell you there's a problem with that.
What is that? Say it again.
It's like the whole like alpha male situation.
Alpha male situation. Oh, that's
Alpha male situation.
hyper masculinity.
Yeah, that's
We've
the one.
brought the topic a few times in the show here.
It's a hot topic. It's
a hot topic because everyone's like, I'm not even going to mention the guy's name because you all know who I'm talking about already before I even talk about big pompous man on social media who thinks that he's everything.
I know. Do you know what? I just went, what's she talking about? And then I knew exactly who you meant as soon as you started talking about
Yeah, exactly. I don't even want to bring his name. I can't.
It's quite a
Everyone talks
detrimental
about
way
him.
to
To
a lot of
feminism
young-
too. Oh my god.
Mm.
Like taking steps backwards, you know. But it's also highlighting the misogyny that's always been there, and then people being like, who thought feminism was fake, and you know, third wave feminism is the most stupid thing that's ever existed because there's no misogyny in the world. And then you look at people like that, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still people endorsing
to
this guy,
themselves.
so
People can see him for what he is, though. Like, you can look at that and be like, you're
But that's the
an
thing,
idiot.
like what we were talking before the show about Bolsonaro, the president from Brazil. Like how can a dumbass like that be in power?
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the confidence, you know. Like that's how I speak.
Yeah.
That's how I put myself out there. For men who are insecure, who are still navigating those feelings, they're not even sure about their sexuality. Maybe they don't know what's going on, and then you see this figure putting themselves out there like the peacock and talking all like that. Like you
want to follow.
Yeah.
well, there's and it's pretty much with anything, isn't it? Like religion has a lot of those things
Yeah.
too. You know, like you go loud, you go strong, and then like I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not giving
No.
shit to it, but like it's a very common way to get people hooked up.
It's preying on the vulnerable, and it's awful, actually. It's probably one of the worst things that people do is they find a group of people who need help in a certain area, and they prey on that, and they're like, well, I can fix your problems if you just listen to me, you know, and buy a Bugatti. all your life's problems will be solved. You know, it's like...
So would we kind of like come to a common ground here that like is the thing with acceptance and talking, you know, like and finding those people that will support you and will listen to you, not just trust on your phone, like it's actually going to that teacher at school that maybe will listen. You know, I feel like those tools are quite good. Hey, like the people who understand you the way you are, like that they're not trying to change you, usually are the ones who you should
Stick with.
stick with. Hey, does it make sense? Am I going in the right direction?
I think so. Yeah, you are. There's always people around to support you.
Yeah.
I just think it's a matter of finding the right ones.
And understanding that in the first place.
Yeah.
Understanding that there is people out there who are willing to listen to you, and your problems aren't scary to other people. Your
Sometimes
problems, they can be.
just sometimes.
Occasionally they can be scary to other people, but most of the time, you know, you feel like, oh, my problem is too big for this person, and if I say something, then something bad is going to happen. It's just the immediate reaction, like, I don't want to be vulnerable, which is very common in our culture, you know. But coming back to that, people will understand you and accept you, and you learn from supporting other people that you can also be supported. Yeah.
Wow. That was a powerful end for a conversation,
man, I wish
wasn't
just
it?
people like that when I was at school.
We know all about life.
This is because the internet, bro. It's the internet.
Man.
But it's
Should
a
have
good
had
chat.
social
It's
media.
a great chat, isn't it? Yeah. It has to happen more often, and I really appreciate both of you coming to our show tonight because we never had like a class or anything together, but I always noticed the vibes and the ways that you do things and the topics that you like to talk about and the way that you deal with arts and with yourself. So I thought it would be inspiring for a lot of the young people, hopefully, if they tune in and listen to you. I think you're on the right path, unless you get lost in Amsterdam and never comes back.
Get lost in Wellington. Never
Get
come
lost
back.
in Wellington, never come back. Yeah. No, I'm joking.
Cuba Street, bro.
Too long.
Newtown has the amazing Newtown Festival. It's a big street festival that they do. It's coming up. We played at it. It was very nice. I think like 14 or 15 stages, all sorts of music, like different bands. So
When
you can
you have to
take
give me
Alex.
the exact dates.
I think it's March. I think it's coming up.
I'll be there. I'll be there in March.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So when you are on your travelings, and Alex will already be there. So
Yeah, yeah.
You have to come back.
Cuba Dupa is a famous one. Cuba Dupa in Cuba streets.
Haven't heard of
Yeah,
it.
it's a bit like there's all sorts of arts, but Newtown Festival it's more like
music.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds cool.
pretty fun. So
Yeah.
yeah, we might see you there. We might go for a boogie as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mission to get there, but yeah, okay.
Ready.
I'll write
Airplanes,
the date
man.
down.
I'm already doing my vegan part, so I can fly in a plane. I can
Yeah.
damage the environment a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Reduce that. It's like a carbon bank, you know. Just like sometimes you'll just be like, oh, yeah. Well, I've actually been saving up my carbon bank. You know, like Timmy down the road's actually in debt at this point because he eats meat and he drives his car every day. He doesn't carpool, bro. But me, I'm vegan. I walk
You're okay.
By me.
and I've got carbon to spend and I'm spending it on this flight.
I like that. There you go.
It's definitely not the way it should work.
No,
I disagree.
but it was a good answer. We're gonna leave this one for the next week's debate, where we're bringing Alex and Petra to disagree
Yeah.
politely.
I will.
Politely
be there.
Disagree.
Awesome, thank you. Thanks so much for coming to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Did you have fun?
I had fun. It
Yes.
was really cool.
This was awesome. I was
Yeah.
like really nervous.
It's been the dream for a
Yeah.
while, being ALTBAYS.
Yeah, yeah. Here we are.
Cool.
With
Yeah.
Brielle, you remember Brielle on like a previous episode? I like saw her go on. I was like, gotta get on there now.
It's the apex.
That's it.
in the
We're peak. Yeah,
Getting on
what do
up.
we do now?
peak.
I think
Here you are.
I think this is it.
Hollywood.
Yeah,
Celebrities.
yeah.
Amazing.
You're gonna have to walk a little bit differently tomorrow.
Jess, thank you so much.
No worries. Anytime.
Thanks for wearing the flower. That was amazing.
Yeah.
That was
I'm glad
Yeah.
I suggested it.
me and Leo still going
Me too.
strong. I'm a little minion.
Let's do it. Let's find a Halloween party and let's get the hell out of here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Thank you.
All right.
And for you watching us, thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on social media. Bye.